Welcome back to TTC Cars. I'm Brian.
I'm Craig.
And what's your name?
Henry.
And this is Henry. He's our third host today, and definitely not a mini-me of anyone called me. So anyways, let's get into it, Henry. What are we driving today? It's an Infiniti QX55, and let's get into it. Henry, what color is that?
Red.
It's red. It's definitely red. The exterior color is Dynamic Sunstone. I think it's missing.
That.
Yeah, I knew that too.
Henry. Does that look like Sunstone?
No.
It looks like Dynamic Sunstone.
It's not red.
Okay, exactly. The interior is stone, and price-wise is a whopping $62,725. Wow, that's a lot of money.
Overpriced.
Seems overpriced? Okay, well here we go. We're gonna talk about the actual powertrain now. This is the biggest deal in this car, as I'm interested in this part. 2-liter variable compression turbo engine. More on that in a minute. That's kind of a big deal. Other than that, it's kind of just a two-row crossover from Infiniti. Now, competition-wise, I'm thinking Q3, I'm thinking X3, all these kind of German, nice crossover-looking things. So that's where we're at with it. But let's get into the looks outside. All right, exterior-wise, we've got that Dynamic Sunstone, which does have a ton of metallic in it. Not much pearl, but it's a very pretty color. I've found this thing to be very striking. Just catch my eye. It's a very nice-looking thing. It has the corporate grille on the front, good headlights that do aim at night. Not quite as precise as Mazda's, but they certainly get the job done. Pretty cool to see that. Coming to the side, wheels and tires. Craig, this thing is a 20-inch wheel. Henry, what do you think it looks like?
I don't know.
You don't know? Ninja Star, maybe? Maybe.
All wheels look like that.
Oh, all wheels look like that. Okay. So these are Bridgestone tires. They are, let's see here, 255 45 R20s. I don't know that 20s are the best move for something like this in terms of MPG and performance, but for looks, it's nailed it.
So it is the move.
It is the move. You do have cladding on the fender liners, which is interesting to me because that usually means it's good for outdoorsy things. I'm not sure that that's the target for this. To the mirror cap, it is satin, it is not chrome. Thank you for not being chrome. I do appreciate that a lot. Typical Infiniti stuff going on here. I do want to talk about the door handle situation. We've got a push to lock and a very simple put your hand in to open. Nailed it. Very good job with that. Power folding mirrors as well.
It's not complicated.
It doesn't have to be at all. All right, so on the roof rack, it is a black roof rack. You could put a basket up here. I don't know what weight rating is, but I promise you they have no interest in a rooftop tent on this car, even though you could. Coming on the side, we've got the coupe-like styling, which I'll just put it out there. I've never been a fan of a coupe crossover. It's never something I've thought is cool or necessary, but here it is. So of the coupe crossovers, I think it is quite handsome. I was following it here when Craig was driving. I thought that's a pretty good looking car. So they got that figured out, at least on the rear 3/4. Out back, you do get a wiper and you do get some exhaust, Craig. It is bumper mounted, but it is metal, and there's a real pipe behind it. Let's see what it sounds like. Okay, sounding kind of interesting up front. What does it sound like out here?
Sound like the mufflers work really well.
Dang it. Let's check out that engine out front. All right, coming under the hood, let's check it out. Time for the piece de resistance. This is the VC Turbo. You see that, Craig? Variable compression turbo. Not talking VVT, which is variable valve timing. This means the compression varies in the actual cylinder. That is wild. So it can go from something like, 9-to-1 to 12-to-1. Like this is the first motor of its kind, at least in mass production.
So you get the best of both worlds?
Yeah.
How do they do that?
It's wild, and VVT, and they haven't blown up yet. When this thing first came out, I thought, there's no way this will work. There's just no way.
But something weird like Mazda would do.
Well, but no, it's not a rotary. It's not a Dorito. But Nissan's known for doing some kind of crazy stuff. Remember the RB motors and the GTRs and all that kind of stuff? They've got a good team of engineers, and this shows it. Horsepower, 268, torque, 280. The downside is it's paired to a CVT.
Oh, everything was going so good.
It was going so great. It does have all-wheel drive, and we'll get into more of it on the ride and drive, but I'll tell you from behind the wheel, well, we'll tell you when we drive it. Let's check out the interior with Craig.
Time to check out the interior of this Infiniti QX55. It looks great on the outside. What's it look like on the inside? And do we have any storage? Just check it out. I like the little button right here. That's pretty cool. Little triangle.
Nice and hidden.
Hit the button, and it opens, and we'll see what kind of storage you got here. Pretty good for a crossover. Ah! What the heck? Well, room for one Henry. All right, also has plenty of storage behind. You can fold these seats down, and look, Henry can actually sleep just fine if you're overlanding maybe, or Brian, if you're getting tires mounted for the Ranger. Now to the second row. All right, on to the second row, Brian. Let's start with the door. We'll get a nice padded door sill, which is really high, so you'll probably never touch it, but at least it's padded if you do. This is either the best fake wood ever or it's real wood. Looks really good.
Very
and then you
nice.
get a nice padded armrest with a pocket or door pull that holds the phone. Thank you. I don't know why that's so hard. And then plenty of room for a bottle. Let's get in and see what kind of room we have. I'm sitting behind myself, but I just moved the seat up a little bit so I can fold the seat down so I have plenty of leg room. But you can tell, even with the seat back, I would have plenty of leg room. You do have rear AC back here, and it's tri-zone, so dual zone up front and single zone back here with seat heaters and USB-A and USB-C.
Ooh,
That's
I like
very nice.
that.
I get a nice armrest right here that's got some stuff in it. And then, Brian, it's got a moonroof, but not a panoramic, but there's a motor here. I'm concerned about headroom. I think instead of getting you in here, maybe we get Henry in here.
Bring in B team. Come on. I mean, A team. Let's go.
All right.
Got the booster. Henry's a tall kid.
Okay,
And he has hit his
okay.
head in things before.
Yep. Oh,
With
Henry?
the booster, which is about 4 inches in height. What do you think?
Pretty good.
Thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs up. Okay.
Win,
And look at the
win.
leg room that Henry still has, even with the booster, and plenty of places to put
kick your parents. Yep.
Kick your parents, and or annoy your brother sitting right here, right
That never happens.
to the front. All right, let's check out the front row, Brian, where the business happens. We get a nice padded door sill here. That same wood is there. And then we get a nice padded door pull. Same exact design as the second row. And then plenty of room for bottles and knickknacks. Let's get into the actual seat. I like this stone interior. It looks really good. I like the two-tone that we get. We're not sure if this is stone or that is stone. You know, because that could be limestone. This could be granite. So who knows?
Oh,
I guess
but we do know we like it.
I guess they're both stones, though, so that
I guess
works.
so, yeah.
But I like how it wraps around here, too. That looks really good. But the center cluster, let's just start there. I like how CarPlay is up here, but the native stuff's down here, because a lot of times you're in CarPlay, but you want to get back to a native function. It's just, you don't have to worry about that. It's just right here. It's just always
That's
right
awesome.
here.
I love
So
that.
I like that a lot, and I like how you still get hard keys, dual zone climate control, ball chillers, ball heaters. Love that a lot. And that works well. Wireless G charging, USB-C, USB-A, and old school charging. Plenty of room for Topo Chico or coffee. And the engine start-stop button is down here in the bottom. I like that, or in the middle, kind of like a Saab. That's pretty cool. And then they do their, look, every luxury car has to have some sort of dial like this, like Audi or Mazda or whoever. It works. It's okay, but
So I'll tell you now, I drove this car most of the week. I never used the knob once because this was so effective with the screens being split.
yeah, and that's just it. This
Yeah.
is so effective that you just don't need this. And
I forgot it
And
had
it's
a
real
knob.
easy to reach these. They're not up and out of the way.
Right.
This works. This is old school, but
Good
it
job.
works. Let's move on to the actual center cluster, Brian. This works wonderful. Let's start this bad boy up and show the people. I love that we get, look, there's a nice gauge sweep of actual dials. There's
What?
you don't have to
What?
change any configurations to make them round or modern. They just work. This is a very Nissan Infiniti screen, but
Love
it's
it.
functional and it works. And you get all the information you need in the center cluster that's configurable. Like that a lot. Everything just works well. Nice steering wheel.
One interesting thing is check out the tach. Look at that sweep. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Look at the spread. It's not
Yeah, that is
linear.
interesting. Oh, 0, 1, 2, and then it really spreads out. Really interesting. Maybe that's where the variable compression comes into play. I don't
Maybe.
know. All that said, it's a really nice spot. $65,000 worth spot?
I
don't know.
that.
But more importantly, no one cares because we want to know what the CVT and its variable compression can do 0 to 60. All right, Brian, Infiniti QX55 in really bright red, but also more importantly, variable compression turbo.
And variable gearing because of CVT.
Oh, yeah.
Sport
All right,
mode.
hit it.
Dump.
Okay. Lots of sound.
5,500 RPM shift, 5,800 RPM shift, fake shift, 5,900. All right, wait, we're over 6 miles an hour.
Okay. Well, hey, look, with 3 of us in the car, because we got our correspondent
Yep,
Henry with
our
us,
technical advisor, Henry.
7.26. That's not bad.
Look, without anybody in here, just me,
Yeah.
7.08.
Really? Didn't get much better?
That's not that much better. Yeah.
Okay, that's really interesting because
Very.
usually, Brian,
It's like one
with-
person is about 3/10.
yes,
Usually.
and if we got even more than that today. Okay, so I guess what we'll say is this is going to get you consistent times.
It is. And I think also what this tells us is that the CVT is giving it lots of torque management.
Yes.
I can tell. And so
Yes.
once it's on a certain surface and it's got the right temperatures, we're probably getting more out of it than we would otherwise.
Right.
So that's probably what's happening here. Okay, let's get on to ride and drive
Okay.
before we get into engine stuff. Ride and drive. 20-inch wheels make normal potholes feel like big potholes.
True.
But they handle a little better than you would think. So it's okay on that.
And arguably look cool.
And they look great. Yeah, that
Yeah.
thing would look weird with 16s.
It
so
would.
There is, that's just what the eye is looking for
Yeah.
nowadays. Steering. I haven't even thought about it. That's how good it is.
Wait a minute. So Nissan Infiniti can make good steering.
Yes, they can.
Frontier.
Exactly. And this is
Okay.
definitely an
All right.
E-Pass unit, and that's pretty much it. Braking is adequate, but we did notice in our testing, wheel hop while braking.
That, first time we've seen that in our brake testing.
I've never seen that in my life.
That was scary.
It was to the point that the rear seat was flapping, and the center console was moving side to side.
I was filming it and I heard a metal clangs. I thought something came off,
I don't know.
and I saw the wheels hopping in the front too.
Right.
I didn't know what was happening.
And I went back over the surface that we did the braking on. It wasn't choppy.
Yeah.
I don't know what. It felt like the ABS wasn't sure what happened, like it brain farted.
That was really weird.
It's totally agreeable. No problems. No issues.
It's fine. Zero problems. Henry's comfortable. That's important.
Yep.
And
Actually too much.
No, you're too comfortable? Oh, not too much. So
not too much. Okay.
All right, what would your, Henry, 1 out of 10, what's your rear comfort scale in the rear seat?
Like,
4.
More comfort. Okay.
Okay,
All right.
fair.
Fair enough. Oh, look, I'd say it's a pretty comfortable vehicle. We mentioned we wish it was sat a little lower. That you could get the seats a little lower.
Right.
That's kind of a modern car thing. That just
But
is what it is.
I've got headroom.
You do have headroom. Everything does kind of work. Crossovers are practical.
Yeah, we've hauled tires in this thing, no big deal.
This does look good.
It does. It's comfortable and quiet. I am regrettable to inform you that we did not do our MPG run on this week. You didn't
Yeah.
actually have it long enough for that. And I was experiencing about 20 miles a gallon in the city.
Not terrible for 280 pound-feet of torque.
Yeah, and all-wheel drive and all that kind of stuff.
And lastly, I'll just say this though: its biggest fault, other than the CVT, is it feels about $10,000 overpriced to me.
I would agree, and that's mostly because the German stuff is cheaper than this, depending on how you configure it.
Sure.
Right now, they can be obviously more expensive too.
And you can get cheaper versions of this. to be fair.
Absolutely, yeah, we have the Max one out here. I'm sure if you max them both out, this is still cheaper. But I don't feel like I'm getting the latest in tech in here because it feels like it's from 2016,
Which I kind of like.
which is a preference to me, but I don't want to pay more for that.
That's fair.
That's all I'm saying.
That's fair.
So anyways, I do love this. I do think there's a lot to like about this. I would not fault anyone for getting it. In fact, if you're looking at this segment, give it a drive.
Put it on your list. Would you rather this be just front-wheel drive only?
Yes.
Me too.
Yeah, absolutely.
With that, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Leave us some comments below. Let us know if you're in this segment, what you're getting. Are you looking at the Q3, CX5s, or something else maybe? We're curious what you're getting. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.